please, don't try anything that you're about to see us do at home. Ever.
Aboard this episode of MythBusters.
Welcome back, pirates.
It's the Pirates Special sequel. Our very own Pirates of the Caribbean once again plunder and pillage for pirate parable.
I think I stepped on an octopus.
First, Adam and Jamie tackle the movie-inspired myth of the pirate submarine.
This is either madness or brilliance.
Then Carrie and Grant bury Tori alive.
Oh, gee, he's up to his knees.
To find out
Oh, Fiddle, we're up to your middle.
if you can escape
Oh, heck, I'm up to his neck.
a terrifying death sentence. And finally, more Caribbean chaos as Adam and Jamie
What do you mean we ain't got no cannonballs?
investigate the ballistic properties of improvised ammo. Who are the MythBusters?
Yeehaw!
Adam Savage
Time for science!
and Jamie Heineman.
Is that beautiful or what?
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
It bleeds! Let's go!
Joining them, Grant Imahara,
Don't give up on me now!
Tori Belleci,
Oh, and that's how we like it.
and Carrie Byron.
High explosives and electricity. Woo!
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Pirates. Apparently, we haven't done enough pirate myths.
Who says we haven't? I'll run them straight through the scurvy dog.
The fans.
And there's hordes of them! Wait. Instead of killing them all, why don't we take a few more suggestions?
Right, and do a MythBusters Pirate Special number 2. Another excuse to not bathe for weeks.
The last time the MythBusters stopped bathing, 4 maritime myths walked the plank. Slowing a fall with a knife sail hit the deck. And rum as a stain remover was...
Ah, busted.
So was the nautical notion that wooden shrapnel from a cannonball was lethal. The team finally saw the light with eye patch as a night vision aid.
That was like night and day!
But this veritable feast of fables merely scratched the surface.
96, 97, 98, 99, 3. Ah, you threw off my count.
You're too much of a landlubber to be in that outfit. You get seasick.
I don't need to go on the sea for this technique, Johnny. Check this out. It's a pirate submarine. I take a rowboat and turn it upside down, and I get inside, and I walk from the shore into the water, and the rowboat keeps a pocket of air so I can make my way out to my enemies and deal with them in a way they would never see coming.
I'm not so sure about that. That sounds like a myth to me.
Well, that's what we're here to find out.
In need of a quick escape, our irrepressible hero flips a rowboat to use as a submarine. But in the real world, would this fun-filled filmic fable go belly up?
What's the plan, Adam?
Well, I'm glad you've asked it, my non-pirate friend. I've thought about this at length, and I've considered that since I get sick on the sea, I'd like to do this whole experiment in a swimming pool.
Okay, well, we'll get, like, some ramps that we can walk down into the pool with, and we gotta find a boat.
Exactly.
Because of Adam's history of hurling on the high seas, the team drop anchor in the calm waters of the Fremont Pool in Oakland.
Okay, if you can push.
En route, they stopped in at the rowboat store, which means they have all they need to recreate the mythical movie scene in question. Using a ramp, they'll walk the upturned boat into the shallow end of the pool before heading out of their depth to test its submarine-like properties.
Oh, bloody hell, that's heavy. Oh my God, that's really heavy. Getting lighter. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's move forward. Come on.
With the weight supported on the water's surface, our potential submariners begin their descent.
Okay, here we get into deeper water. We'll find out if the boat comes with us. Are you? That's gonna be a bit of a problem, lad. Okay.
Actually, like, I'm sort of floating.
Well, the first test went as well as could be expected. There is indeed a breathable pocket of air in the boat, but the boat didn't sink.
Well, that didn't work at all.
Nope, our not-so-stealthy pirates were left high and wet. But despite their failure, Adam isn't ready to consign this myth to Davy Jones' locker quite yet.
Here's the problem. Humans are neutrally buoyant. When we go into the water, being mostly water, we don't weigh anything. We're not applying any downforce to this boat. But in our research, we turned up that pirates wore tons of crap, cutlasses and cuirasses and daggers and blunderbusses and all that sort of stuff. And specifically, Yellowbeard was supposed to have worn 30 pounds of stuff.
30 pounds.
Awesome.
There you go, buddy.
So Jamie and I are going to put 30 pounds each on our bodies, try this test again, and see if we get any more of a positive result.
Adam and Jamie, with 60 pounds of pirate bling and weaponry, once again attempt to slide beneath the water in their makeshift submersible. But will the excess baggage help?
Here we are again.
Here we go again.
While Adam and Jamie head for deeper waters, why don't we join Carrie, Grant, and Tori for a mythical pirate torture technique?
The myth we're working on is called sand necktie.
Alright, that'd be pirate fashion.
Actually, this one's about sand. The idea is that pirates would bury their prisoners up to the neck, at the shore, at low tide, so when the tide came in, they'd drown a torturous death.
So what we're looking at is whether you can escape or not, right?
Exactly.
It's a myth with a morbid fascination. Buried alive. With water views. But is the pirate's sand necktie really a certain death sentence? Or could you dig your way out of your vertical, shallow grave?
Okay, so what's the plan?
Well, some people think it's not the drowning that killed the prisoners, but the pressure of the sand, that it'd close in around you like a boa constrictor.
Well, that sounds pretty easy. So we go to the beach, we dig a big hole, we put Tori in, and see if he passes out. If he doesn't pass out, then we can see if he escapes.
Wait, don't I get a say in this at all?
No.
So it's a simple plan that involves Captain Limpy and Cabin Boy Imahara burying Tortuga Tori to the neck.
Hey, there's the X marks the spot.
Oh, there's the treasure.
There's the treasure.
All right, start digging, mates.
First up, a vertical grave,
Why am I digging my own hole?
well away from the rising tide for safety, from which Tori will attempt to escape. That's if he doesn't suffocate from the constriction first.
I don't have time to deal with that ye olde pirate trick where you have to use a shovel to dig a hole. We're in a modern world, we're modern people, and I'm a modern pirate. I'm using heavy machinery.
You know, watching Carrie dig this ditch and knowing that I'm going to be up to my neck in sand, it's kind of like watching her dig my grave. I hope I don't regret saying that.
You could say Tori's got some grave doubts.
Perfect, right up to your neck. That's good.
As a precaution against hypothermia, Tori will wear a wetsuit.
Why am I doing this? Could somebody tell me?
No, but how about giving us a prediction just the same?
My prediction, I'm going to get buried up to my neck and I won't be able to move at all. I don't think I'm going to be able to get out. I think I'm going to freak out, call everybody to come in, and dig me out.
You're gonna be okay, you'll be fine.
We're gonna be here the entire time.
Let's get this over with. What are we doing?
Oh no, he's up to his toes. Oh gee, he's up to his knee.
With torturing Tori on the agenda, Carrie and Grant are as happy as any pirate could be. Strangely, Tori isn't having nearly as much fun.
All right, I'm probably going to check out a little bit, so don't be offended if I don't answer your questions. I'm trying to remain calm here.
All right, dude, totally.
Calm breathing will be important because, as Sanjay explains, another name for this myth could be dead man's chest.
Well, one of the biggest problems I can see is that as we breathe, our chest wall expands to allow our lungs to expand, to have the air exchange happen in our lungs. Well, with the sand up against his chest and all that pressure, he's not going to be able to take normal size breaths.
It touches on all of the major phobias and fears. Being buried alive, drowning, claustrophobia. I mean, he's in a hole. The tide is coming in.
To imagine a pirate having to die this way, it's terrifying.
Cue Captain Limpy
Oh, Fiddle, we're up to your middle.
and her buried alive verse,
I've been a bad pirate.
sung to cheer up her captive audience.
Oh, heck, I'm up to his neck.
Carrie and Grant start the clock on Tori's escape attempt.
Okay, I'm ready to go. All right, what I'm doing right now is I'm just wiggling my fingers just to kind of make room for my hand and see if I can actually free my arm.
That's funny because it just doesn't look like you're moving at all.
And that's a problem, because in addition to his fear of small rodents and the color purple, it turns out he doesn't like being buried alive.
Okay, can you guys be ready with shovels?
Yeah.
Because I'm noticing that as I'm realizing that I can't move, that it's starting to freak me out.
Coming up on MythBusters.
Adam and Jamie find out if their pirate bling will drag them down. It's the MythBusters Pirate Special sequel. Adam Adam and Jamie have already failed to turn an upturned rowboat into a makeshift submarine. They're simply too buoyant and couldn't pull the boat to the bottom of the pool. But they're about to find out if 60 pounds of pirate accessories are enough ballast to sink them and their precious pocket of air.
I think I just stepped on an octopus. There we go. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, okay, pull. Oh, no. No, not happening.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as it was the last time.
Pretty much exactly the same.
Well, what do you think?
I think this one's a bust.
Yeah?
I think this, okay, so we added an extra 60 pounds. I think there's a lot more than 60 pounds of displacement here. I'd like to find out exactly how much.
With the myth sinking fast, the guys want some answers. And to get them, they've got another test in mind. And this time, wearing scuba gear, they're going down with the boat.
We're going to anchor ourselves to the bottom of this pool, about 500 pounds of barbell weights. We're going to put the boat down there full of water and fill it with air and see if we can hold on to it while it's got enough air for us to breathe in.
This will be the definitive test. If they can't hold down their pirate submarine with all that extra weight, the myth's a bust.
You ready to do this? Everything's set up.
Yeah.
At the bottom, they anchor themselves to a quarter-ton of barbells, grab hold of the boat, and then blow bubbles into the reservoir above them, filling it with the smallest of breathable air pockets. But they just can't hang on, and this myth floats off to wherever busted myths float off to.
Okay, you see how we've got barbell weights hanging from the boat itself? We had to put 200 pounds onto the boat just to offset the buoyancy of the wood before we even got air into it. That's how much buoyancy we're talking about. Then you put air in, and Jamie and I couldn't hold on to it with 500 pounds. There is no way that under anything remotely approaching a normal circumstance, a human could hold a breathable pocket of air by himself at the bottom of the ocean.
Well, something tells me we're not quite done yet, though.
Oh, no.
Yes, they're going to appease the curiosity gods by running the numbers.
I think it's time to quantify just how much weight it's going to take to hold that boat down.
The way we're going to find that out is by filling it with water and weighing, keeping track of the weight of the water that we put into it until it sinks.
Okay, it's a complicated thing, but basically, Adam and Jamie are going to flip this myth on its head. By overcoming the boat's buoyancy, they'll know how much force or weight it would take to hold down a boat full of air. So there's going to be a whole lot of bailing in reverse.
Hey.
Each of these buckets holds 40 pounds of water.
40.
And after 2,000 pounds of H2O and barbells...
Yeah, that's it. Now it's coming over the side over there.
Adam and Jamie know exactly why this myth is sunk.
All right, so I took 2,000 pounds of water and barbell weights combined to sink this boat. In practical terms, what that means is if you're trying to hold this boat upside down full of air at the bottom of the ocean, that there's 2,000 pounds of force pulling upwards. So that even if you were Jabba the Hutt and weighed enough to hold the boat down, your arms would still have an out-of-body experience. They would be ripped out of their sockets. You couldn't do it.
So there's just one outstanding question. How did Captain Jack Sparrow do it in the movie? The sequence has 3 key shots: entering the water, the submerged walk at the bottom of the ocean, and finally the pirates safe in their air bubble.
Shot the first. Pirates Jamie and Adam seeking to evade detection, walk their boat into the water. Here we go.
This one's pretty simple. No special effects needed here.
Oh, I think it's working.
Right, shot the second. Pre-drilled holes of weight to make the boat sink. Jamie and Adam inside with special small air tanks. Ready? Here we go.
With a neutrally buoyant boat and concealed air tanks, our pirates can defy physics and walk their submersible along the ocean floor.
Shot number 3. Jamie and Adam the pirates from inside the boat. You ready? Go!
Supposedly at the bottom of the ocean, they're actually walking the upturned boat along the surface.
Are you excited? Yeah. Kind of the strong side of time he is.
So there you have it. Hollywood special effects uncovered. A physics-defying sequence made into reality with some clever behind-the-scenes work.
It's all a bunch of movie magic we've done for your benefit. Movie magic thing's pretty cool. I really think we can make a go for it. What do you think? Sure, why not? Let's be special effects wizards.
You know, Adam, it's perfectly clear. There's just no way that 2 men could hold a boat underwater if it's got a pocket of breathable air in it. It'd be too buoyant.
Right, and it didn't work worth a damn either.
Yeah, so the myth is busted?
Busted, totally busted, busted!
But
But wait, there's more.
That's right. If you want to learn more about buoyancy and exactly why this myth was busted, then simply log on to www.discovery.com/MythBusters.
And get more.
Later,
What are you doing, my cannon?
Adam and Jamie wheel out the big guns. But first, will Tori lose his head?
This is scary, I'm not gonna lie.
Pirates are an intrinsic part of modern-day entertainment. I mean, who doesn't love a camp pirate musical extravaganza? But let's not forget, back in the day, they prowled the high seas with murderous intent.
I take what I want and I want what I take.
Crossing paths with a corsair could be fatal in any number of imaginative ways. But surely the worst was the mythical sand necktie. Buried to the neck, the incoming tide ensured a gruesome, claustrophobic death. Or did it? Tortuga Tori, up to his neck in it, is attempting to find out.
This is scary, I'm not gonna lie.
But despite losing his head for the 5 minutes he was locked in position, Tori eventually manages to free one of his arms.
Hey! Oh my gosh.
There you go. It's a good start. You know, if you can get one hand free, you can dig yourself out.
Now that I have my arms free, I feel much better.
Tori may feel better, but freedom is still a long way off.
Well, we're a little bit past the 30-minute mark. He seems to be doing pretty well, except I'm noticing that he's digging in and then he has a cave-in. And it's like he has to start all over again.
God! You know what? I welcome the tide now.
With Tori ready to end it all, Carrie and Grant step up to boost morale.
Right, here we have a very rare sight, the burrowing Balachi. He's almost formed his little burrow, and that'll be his home for the next 5 years.
And what do you know? The burrowing Balachi musters his energy and...
That is 86 minutes.
After an hour and a half of extreme science, Tori must be feeling on top of the world, right?
Gosh, this whole experience pretty much sucked from the beginning. The only time it sounded kind of fun was when we were in the office saying, hey, do you want to get buried up to your neck in sand? And I was like, yeah, that sounds kind of fun. But getting out of it was really hard. It's taken me over an hour to dig my way out of this hole.
The escape casts doubt over the myth that the infamous sand necktie will give you a bad case of dead. But Tori was buried in dry sand, well away from the incoming tide. Until they test the lethality under those conditions, this myth is still alive.
You know, Jamie, I've always pondered. What would pirates do if they were in a battle and they ran out of cannonballs?
They'd improvise. You know, they'd just grab anything they had handy and shove it down the barrel.
That sounds like something we should test.
You got it.
In this movie myth, when the ship hits the fan and there's no cannonballs left on board, you can supposedly blast your enemy with whatever's on hand. But what would happen in real life? Would this improvised ammunition lead to a ballistics bullseye? Or is it just fantasy physics?
Well, accepting pirate booty, what would you find on a pirate ship that you could cram down a barrel and fire at your enemies?
Well, let me think. The first thing that comes to my mind would be silverware, like cutlery.
Oh, that's good. I guess if you were desperate, you could use bottles of rum and wine.
Chain.
Nails.
Well, and then if you're really hard up, I mean, you are a pirate after all, so you can take off your wooden peg leg and you can fire that.
Well, you'd have to be very, very desperate, but that sounds great. Let's try.
As plans go, this one's as simple as it gets. Jamie and Adam will gather the ad hoc ammunition they've chosen to test.
It's a genuine bona fide pirate peg leg.
And make their way down to the Alameda County Bomb Disposal Range to fire it from a cannon. And the artillery in question has a familiar muzzle.
Look at that. Boxing an old friend.
How you doing there, little buddy?
Of course, old friend, old Moses, and cannoneer Harry Webb have had a blast with the MythBusters before. And because they can do that, it's no surprise they've been invited back.
My buddy Old Moses here is a replica of an 1841 6-pound ball cannon, and it fires that 6-pound ball at about 900 miles an hour.
So
Harry, are you okay with us shooting pretty much anything we decide to put in the cannon?
Certainly within reason. I mean, it has to be under 3 1/4 inches and under 12 pounds, just for the stress of the gun. But anything you can fit down there that qualifies for that is fine with me.
With Harry's blessing, they can begin prepping old Moses for firing. And unfortunately for everyone within earshot, Adam can get into character.
What are you doing with my cannon? Hold it right there. Now, who told me that we had no cannonballs? I want you to take everything we've got on the ship, shove it down that barrel, and shoot it at that boat. Well, don't just stand there.
Are we going to have to listen to this all day?
Yes.
Next.
Bottle of red, bottle of white, whatever kind of mood you're in tonight.
Adam and Jamie begin firing their improvised ammo.
Wow. That's so percussive.
On location at the bomb disposal range.
What do you mean we ain't got no cannonballs?
Jamie and Adam are on course for some Caribbean cannonball chaos.
It's a bit hot being pirate.
They're testing the myth that improvised ammo will work in place of regular cannonballs.
Perfect!
And to do that, they need a target. Some way of gauging and comparing the performance of the different types of ammo.
If you've watched MythBusters before, you know that pigs are often used by them as human analogues. Lucky for us, there's not a big difference between humans and pirates. So he makes an excellent pirate analog.
And now, a short break to hear from our partners on the Pirate Channel.
Welcome back, pirates, to the Pirate Channel's Household Hints. If you're like me, you found yourself in the heat of battle without a cannonball, and I'd like to suggest